Their service is woven into the fabric of this country and celebrated, but sadly, they're getting ripped off at an alarming rate. And Mike, you learned veterans, their families, and caregivers are a growing target among scammers.
Yeah, and when I first heard about this, Tiffany, I thought, how sickening is this? The latest numbers from the Federal Trade Commission show in 2022, veterans reported $292 million in losses to fraud. The FTC says it's because they have access to benefits and resources. Scammers are also using obituaries to come up with their next scheme. I caught up with a Lakewood woman who unexpectedly found herself a widow and just days later, a victim of fraud. Less than 24 hours before Americans were set to honor veterans and celebrate Independence Day, Annette Bailey got a call from a woman claiming to be from the Veterans Commission.
She was calling to inform me that my husband had a $30,000 life insurance policy.
Annette's husband, Stephen, a Vietnam vet, died unexpectedly just 9 days prior. She had no idea about any policies he had. So here's what the woman on the phone told her.
If you wanted to keep that, you would have to pay the premium.
Something Annette was willing to do through her bank.
She said, no, they won't accept payments like that. You'll have to get a reloaded card.
With the woman waiting on the line, Annette drove to a local retailer and bought 6 prepaid reloadable cards, each of them worth $500. The transaction caught the attention of the store manager.
He came over and he said, are you being scammed?
When she got home, Annette gave the woman the gift card information. And 2 days later, she called the Veterans Commission.
And I asked to speak to this person. I said, we don't have anyone by that name here.
Is that when it hit you?
That's when it hit me.
Up until that moment, the scammers had Annette tricked because they did their homework and they had so much information about her family.
They're not just randomly picking up the phone and saying, oh, I'm going to just see if this would work on Sally.
Erica Dilworth with the BBB of Greater Cleveland tells me they see cases like this all the time.
You know, this is obviously the typical imposter scam.
Dilworth says the best line of defense is don't rush into anything and make an immediate decision, no matter how persistent the person on the phone is. Also, hang up as soon as they tell you they only take gift cards for a payment.
That is the biggest red flag because that's just not how business is done.
Annette missed the obvious red flags because just days after her husband's death, she tells me she was in a fog, going through the motions.
They're taking advantage of you in your moment of grief.
There's a glimmer of hope. Annette is expected to get most of her money back. Here's what a representative from the gift card company told her.
We see that they have spent $500 of what you gave them, okay? But we're gonna stop the payments on the others. And we will give you a refund.
You deserve it.
Oh my goodness.
You've been through so much.
Oh my goodness. And I don't want anyone to ever go through that.
I asked Annette how this experience changed her. She said she is now more skeptical of people and the phone calls that she receives. Now, her advice, Tiffany, step back, take a deep breath if you find yourself in a similar situation. You know, for her, all the red flags were there. She was just in a vulnerable state and she didn't see them. And I should also mention, too, that the plot twist in her story was she suffered a heart attack caused by stress. And that just shows you the impact that these fraudsters are having on people.
Yeah, you hear about that, right? Financial issues, financial problems can really cause a lot of stress for people, which is so unfortunate. But what I appreciate about her and about you is that she felt comfortable telling you her story, and hopefully that'll help someone else.
That's so important. That's how people are going to continue this awareness and hopefully not get scammed themselves.
Thanks, Mike.